Hi Divine Rebels, Bohemia with Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart readings here, and we are going to do a reading today called Out the Mud. All right, you might hear a song going around with the same theme, and that's the vibe. I'm very heart-centered and I'm very grounded about bringing opportunities and readings, messages, and just space, just taking up space for those of us who come out the gutter, out the streets, out the hood, out the wherever we came from. That is just like, you had to come up hard, you had to come up gully, you had to come up out the mud. All right, that's so much of what I do in just my art and my work, and if you go through the channel, you'll see a lot of that. So that's why I was telling all the new subscribers, like, yes, I've been a little amorous lately, which I'm a Pisces and I always am, but it's very important to me to incorporate this part of who I am as well, which is just an intense reality. So for those of you who resonate with that, now if you didn't come up that hard knock, but you still you've been through some things, this is like, what are the gifts that come out of your wounds or out of your tough situation? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into it and look at what the tea is. All right, what are our gifts? What are our strengths? Things that we can claim up and reclaim about ourselves after all this trouble and burden and hurt and toughness we had to go through. So number one is this green dice with the number 5 on top. Number 2 is this black 8-sided dice. It has a 3 on top. Number 3 is the red dice with the number 2 on top, and number 4 is the white dice with the number 3 on top. Okay, please remember to check out the description box. Look at the other secret links there under the random generator. I'm just gonna abbreviate it, y'all, and check out what else is going on the channel or has gone on. And please feel free to let me know how you like this reading and the background. Y'all probably saw it previewed in the last video, and also if you've been around for a minute, on my Instagram story. So I got some stuff coming out for you. I'm very excited about it. Let's get on with the reading. Okay, all right, for those of you that chose number 1, what are your gifts from coming out the mud? All right, we have transmute. We have a quote card that we'll read here in a minute from our African American wisdom deck. We have 6 of Cups reversed, 4 of Swords reversed. We have King of Swords, Papa Blade reversed, Temperance reversed, 10 of Wands. We have the Chariot reversed. We have Buffalo, a doorway card which will flip over, King of Spades reversed, and Jack of Hearts reversed. All right, and we'll do your dice spin as well. Okay, so what gifts did you bring? I feel like, yes, you guys definitely had a childhood that was very rough. There was no rest. There was always burdens. You might had to have taken on like this role of being an elder in the family, taking on parental duties, taking on you and maybe another sibling or something, or maybe just yourself, and you had to take care of your siblings, had to step up and take care of maybe elders in the family, but in a way that was more than just traditional respect. Take care of the other children around, maybe even go to work, things of that nature very, very early. I feel like a lot of you, it could have affected your schooling. You could have had to move a lot, and there was just a lot of struggle and burdens. How would you take care of your possessions? How would you have a stable foundation? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of moving for a lot of you that could have been very rough. There could have been a lot of religious toughness, and maybe you were in oppressive religion when you were younger, or just the philosophies and theologies of the household in some way were very hard and like kind of forbidding, or just very cutting somehow, very limiting, with the Temperance and the King of Swords right by each other here reversed. Okay, and I'm seeing that one of your gifts, one of your greatest gifts that you have, is learning how to transmute energy. It's like you know how to do a bit of this alchemy, and let's remember the owl comes from alchem, is kemet, which is Africa. It means black. Okay, put some respect on it. So you're very good, let's look at your doorway here, at getting yourself to, it says, a cure for longing. Love is happiness, a spark inside. Live deliberately and choose boldly, then you have arrived. And we see the spark of lightning. You are somebody who takes even the smallest bit of what should have been love and can fill that with love and passion and moving forward. Like, you can find motivation where there's no motivation. You can carry a burden so far in life Like you can carry others on your back and they can just sit there feeling like they got wings, but you can really lift others up. You can really move forward in the care for others and compassion for others and just show up for them, even if they're older than you or the same age. It's like you bring that kind of ancestor energy. You're somebody who is able to tap into the good qualities of your lineage, and even if the ones more recently were very negative, okay, you were able to really kind of self-soothe. Like you had a way of self-soothing yourself and keeping a purity and an innocence about you, even in situations where that should have been crushed out and smashed away or stolen away by these other people. You were able to really choose and have like this conscious decision to try to keep this love of life, this love of self, however small that grain of sand was, to always keep that. Okay, your card over here says, bloody noses made them friends, but giving sound to the bruised places in their hearts made them brothers. Oh my God, that's so perfect. And I've never seen this quote. This is from Gloria Naylor, who is our, oh my gosh, she is our book club right now that we're reading her book, Mama Day. All right. Wow. So I'll read that again. Bloody noses made them friends, but giving sound to the bruised places in their hearts made them brothers. So you're actually able to communicate about it. Some of you have like a book within, or you do writing, or you might even be like a anonymous writer or like a ghostwriter or something, where you put your story out, but people don't really know that it's you. Some of you are like a public speaker, but like secretly. Maybe you have like a YouTube or something like that, and people don't really know that you do, or you have a vlog or blog or something, but you basically, yeah, you can take all those scraps and fights, and you can be not just a peacemaker, like, okay, let's not fight, but you can be like, hey, let's heal this, let's connect. So you don't just trauma bond with people for wound. You're able to really say like, hey, like I relate, like I came from that place, you know, let's see how we can heal that and feel better. You're somebody who can be an excellent mentor. Like you could be a really good mentor, like going in and, you know, saying, hey, there's another way that we can handle our wounds from growing up on this block, or, you know, here's some constructive things that we need to give the children in our community, or here's ways we need to help young parents so that they don't make these mistakes that my parents made, or, you know, different things like that. You might even be someone who really fights for like workers' rights and things of that nature, so that people aren't unnecessarily overburdened. You could be somebody who is, it's like you help people get from one place to another and see that it's possible. You help reach into them to where there's been this like pain and hurt and chaos, and turn it into like, no, don't you just see that's you? That's the spot where you've been longing for love. That's just you. That's just the spot in you that's ready for love. That's what it is. It's not being unlovable. It's just hurt that needs to be transmuted and opened up so that you can receive love that deeply, which is so beautiful. And I hope that you guys have really allowed yourselves to feel that as well, because that's a beautiful gift. And you know, the planet Chiron, I would really say to look at that for this reading, because Chiron is the wounded healer. It shows us where we can heal others better, but we might not always remember to heal ourselves in those ways, because we're tender in those spots, and you know, we have to remember to heal ourselves too. So the song you got over here on the hip hop playing cards is I Ain't No Joke by Rakim, who's like, oh my, he's like one of the faves, but it was reversed. I ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke. Now I slam it when it's done and make sure it's broke. But reversed in this context, I mean, that's legit. All right. I've quoted that before on my community tab, but, but in this case, this is saying when you know that somebody is beefing with you because they're hurt and they've been through pain, you're not going to boss up and go at them just for the sake of doing it. You're gonna say, see, you know what, I see why you're hurting. Like you're able to see the real empathy, and not in a belittling way or a bullshit kind of way, or oh, you have to be nice to me way. Like it's real. It's kind of like just the image I'm getting is like, if you came from that same place, like from that same neighborhood, you understand why a person acts that way and sees the world the way that they do, right? So you can have that true empathy and compassion. Or like if you went through foster care and you went through certain things, you can understand and be compassionate in that way that other people couldn't, you know? And the same thing, like if you've been through homelessness or something. So I feel like for you guys, instead of hardening up, your gift that you have is that you can choose to not just stay an open wound, but to stay forward moving, but actually using that energy, right? Some people are like, oh, well, I moved on, but they didn't really deal with it. They just closed it up like a sewer lid, and then they're rude to other people who are coming up and who deal with their pain differently, right? They get judgmental. They don't want to remember where they came from, all that kind of stuff. And I don't see you guys that way. I feel like you guys, it might be a slow move for y'all, because you truly want to heal. You want to get to the bottom of it, to the depths of it. I do see a lot of Scorpios. Okay, I see Taurus here. We have Sagittarian energy, Aquarius energy, Cancers. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, over here as well, there could be some Scorpios or Pisces with this Jack of Hearts. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe by Kendrick Lamar. You live in a world, you living behind the mirror. I know what you're scared of, the feeling of feeling emotions inferior. And this is reverse. So you are able to not just talk to someone, talking to them as if I'm fine and you're killing my vibe because you're feeling these things. You're able to say, no, I'm in that mirror too. Like, I am you. Like, I truly see you. Like, that's the real namaste. Namaste isn't just like, oh, la la la, like, yes, you know, love and light, well wishes. It's like, no, like, the divine in me sees the divine in you, so the love in me sees the love in you. And if that love has had some pain put on it, I see that too. Like, I see that, and I'm gonna help you transmute that in any way I can, right? And that's real. That's being real right there. All right, let's go ahead and roll your dice. We got the 5 after all, the 5 here. So you guys can have a very unique way of speaking. Some of you, again, you could be rappers, you could be performers, you can do spoken word, writing. I mean, there's so many different things. You could be social media influencers where you like write your experiences in your blogs, like Lil Native Boy. Go ahead and check him out. Or Rachel Cargill, or oh, I'm slipping up thinking of more names, okay? But you could do that where you really transmute your experience and you go and make sure nothing like that happens again as much as you can, or that you're available to people and your community or the people that you're in relationships with to be able to talk about these things that others see as weird, eccentric, shadow. Don't talk about that. That's not polite society, this and that. You're like, oh no, we're going to talk about it, okay? And I feel like your journey of reclaiming, especially for those who came from oppressed peoples, reconnecting to your heritage, reconnecting to your motherland, reconnecting to your ancestors is so powerful. And realizing that, you know, whatever place that you were kind of, sorry, that's witchy pup, y'all, that whatever place that you were smushed down to in life, or that disconnect that you had, some of you didn't fully know who your family was, things like that. And as you feel that in spiritually and you connect and find your culture and your space, like, you again transmute that energy from going to feel like you're not connected to anyone to feeling like you're as wide as the sky, like, just, you know, just feeling at home here and knowing you belong and feeling very grounded and knowing how to make connections in a way that people who take for granted and are born into a family and always just spoiled and don't really know difficulty, you know, you're able to learn appreciation for love and family and heritage and culture and all of that in a different way because of this longing that you've experienced because of you know, not having that available, okay? And for those of you who that part doesn't resonate because you have always had the family around and things, I think for you, what you can take from it is to hear that longing, and instead of looking to other cultures and people and all of that, and that escapism is to appreciate what's at home. Because with Temperance reverse, appreciating what's close to home, appreciating how you can heal your lineage with this transmuting energy, and how you can deburden yourself of like karma and baggage and find a way to move forward in a positive way in the future, okay, in a different way with this 5 energy here, a different heart space kind of energy to really get to the bottom of all of that and heal truly in a spiritually and karmically way for yourself and your lineage, okay? Yeah, so we could have the letters J, K, someone could be named KJ or JK. We could have the letter F, B, we always have B, huh? Or C, okay, being very significant. Yeah, let's see what else, or T, okay? So that's what I'm seeing for you, number ones. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. All right, for those of you that chose number 2 and the 8-sided die that had the 3 on it, what are your gifts from coming out of the mud? Okay, let's see what we got. We have water. We have one of the quote cards from the African American Wisdom deck, which we'll get to. We have Wheel of Fortune, Queen of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups. We have 7 of Wands reverse. We have 6 of Wands. We have 8 of Strength. We have Strength. We have the Bat, the Shark. We have Ace of Clubs, Queen of Clubs reversed, both of those reversed, and we have a doorway which will flip over. Okay, so what are your gifts? We have a lot of fire energy off the bat, Leo, especially Sag and Aries. We also have some Capricorn, yeah, most specifically, and maybe some other earth signs, Taurus or Virgo, and we have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay, so what are your gifts? Definitely first that I'm being drawn to is this bat and this shark. This shark, I remember one time, you know, I was learning to embrace and incorporate, you know, this tender side I have that I had sheltered my whole life, and this, you know, street knowledge. And I was working in this mystic center, and there was some real shade going on behind the scenes. A lot of it ended up being outright like racism and all this kind of stuff. And this one person, my spirit didn't feel right whenever they were around. I didn't trust them, right? The hackles were up, but I was just trying to, you know, just be compassionate. I'm a Pisces, y'all, and all of that. And this person, they were Scorpio and Libra moon, Capricorn rising, if I remember correctly. And they just, whenever I was having this deck because I had just gotten it, and the shark card would pop out whenever they walked by, and they ended up being super shady, very, very, very shady, and part of this whole just very racist situation, and were kind of like spying on me. And so that shark dun dun dun, and so you guys might have that gift of discernment. Okay, bat knows, bat sends out their signal. They don't have to see something, they hear that call back, they feel that energy vibe back, that echo back. Okay, guided by the moon here. We have the moon here, we have the moon here. The water energy, you're very intuitive. You know, I read this thing and it was saying some of us that are so heightened intuitively, it's not even like just spiritual intuition, it's like literally like dire necessity. It's our instincts that are driven to a level they shouldn't have had to be because of our survival instincts that were necessary when we were younger for self-preservation, right? Empaths usually have that too. Very compassionate children, it usually quite often can come from you know, very abusive homes, or homes where they were forced to be like, they had to have their emotional sensors up, right, in order to feel out what was coming at them next, or what was expected of them. So some of you guys went through those kind of experiences. A book that I got from a counselor friend that was good, and I still need to finish the end of it, is The Drama of the Gifted Child. So you might go ahead and check that out if it resonates with you and it feels good to your spirit. And it talks about that you know, the very precocious, spiritual, empathetic kind of child, and what that actually means, and sometimes how we get to that point. All right, now of course we do have children born that way, especially nowadays. We're having the indigos and crystals and all that, but there still is a lot that goes behind that. And in yours, obviously coming out the mud reading, that was a big thing. You had to know what was danger, you had to know what was lurking in those cold, dark waters. Okay, you had to know when it was safe to put your emotions out and when not. So the Wheel of Fortune here, it's like in a positive way, you can flip on a dime. So some of you, you know about code switching, right? Which is when, like, for Black people and just, you know, oppressed people, minorities, where we have to switch and do what white privilege says so that we can have a job, right? We have to talk a certain way, we have to be a certain way, right? Code switching. Like when you have to do certain things like that to survive, like click, 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 you have to know what to do to toe the line. So some of you, the gift that you have out of that now is you know how to navigate those waters. Okay, we have Queen of Pentacles. You kind of know how to play the game when you want to, and then deuces, get out of it when you want to, but still keep your heart and your ethnicity, your ethnicity. I meant to say authenticity, but literally your ethnicity for some of you. Yeah, some of us, right? So it's like, let me see, I'm drawn to this. I said, read this real quick. Self-pity in its early stages is as snug as a feather mattress. Only when it hardens does it become uncomfortable. And so, yes, So it's saying it's not wrong to have compassion for yourself and know that things that you've been through were very hard and horrible, and to soothe that part of yourself and even grieve. And I feel like that's something now that you guys are seeing. Some of you did close down for a while with this Queen of Pentacles and try to get hard, but it's like you've bounced back, Six of Wands here, and dealt with that inner insecurity, and now you realize that it's okay to be tender about what you went through. It's okay to go back and be compassionate, to have inner child work done, to still find that way to be sensitive and like the story I told, be sensitive and have street smarts, right? To have both, and have that water flowing, that intuition that's there as well. And so, you know, others might see it as, yes, a self-pity, but it's not. You're like, no, I understand the way the world works, and just because I'm compassionate about it, and just because I care to have those things change, like, that's not a weakness, that's a superpower. The fact that I can bounce back and back and back. The Wheel of Fortune with the Six of Wands, play Bounce Back by Big Sean, okay? And I woke up in beast mode. We have the Strength card, which is like the beast in it card. All right, you guys can bounce back from anything and still keep your good heart and still grow on your spiritual path and still succeed in the real world. Like, people are like, how do you do that? How do you fit into so many different places and still be authentic, still be yourself? Seven of Wands reverse. How the hell do you let your defenses down, and yet if someone came to you incorrectly, boom, boom, all right, done. You could use that grit that you have and handle things accordingly. And people are just like, wow, you know, that's amazing, right? Okay, over here we have change beckons. The path is shifting. The road leads a new way. Do not be alarmed. A change beckons today. Yeah, y'all are good with change. You're good with getting out of negative habits, but keeping the good lessons and that good core of the things that helped you be who you are, right? You take the wisdom out of the situations. You stay the same in your center, but you're always open for change. You're always open to be more fluid in life, to be a better version of yourself, to keep just having this personal metamorphosis. And that's like an amazing transformation. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, that I just keep getting it over and over in my head. Is like with Jay-Z, right? So he came on the hood. He had a lot of you know, rough situations. I mean, I remember they said like he had one time he like pulled a gun on his brother, and you know, now he has a totally different, he still has that aspect, but like on his new album he talks about that, the contrast between like the part of him that wants to grow and be a family person and be spiritual and like learn all these new things, and the part of him that is still very, you know, hove and very hard knock, and you know, blending those two together and learning how to progress in the world and, you know, balance that, not lose touch, right? Still having that ear to the streets and helping people get out of jail that are under police brutality and all these kind of things, but then also trying to grow spiritually and, you know, in their own right. So it's not that it's always perfect with you guys, but again, you bounce back. Sometimes you might go into defensiveness. Sometimes you might go into being too la-di-da and kind of forgetting where you came from, but it's like you figure it out, and you're very good at knowing how to do that and still build your life, move forward in your life, and find success and find fruitfulness and find ways to blossom. And if it's not working, to keep on moving until you find where and how it will work. Okay. So reverse, you have Juicy by the Notorious B.I.G. Damn right, I like the life I live, because I went from a negative to positive. And then we have Doo Wop, That Thing by Lauryn Hill. How you gonna win when you ain't right within? Okay. So this reverse says, redo the verse, says that you guys, you know that you have to be right within. You know nothing's gonna work until you change up within yourself. You know, when the wheel stops turning, it's because fate's talking to you and saying, hey, change something on the inside, we'll get you there. Okay, you guys found a way. For a lot of you who came up truly hard knock, you found a way out the hood. You found a way out, you know, the hard life. And or maybe once you hit 18, right, you didn't look back. You were like, okay, I'm changing my life. I'm changing my life. Wow, I just got really choked up. Like, I'm not dying an early stereotype. I'm not gonna be what they said I have to be. Like, fuck that. You know, I'm going to be who I know I can be, as it's my divine right? My pursuit of happiness, my right to just be happy. All right. And with this Ace of Wands reversed, I feel like some of you, you're still waiting on that. You're still waiting for that. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. My goal is to like the life I live and to be like, now I truly feel like I went from negative to positive. So some of you are still on that journey. You might have a little inner frustration, but it's motivation. You guys can be motivated. Wow. Like you can be so motivated. You don't have to be competing against somebody to feel motivated. You carry it within your spirit. And that's beautiful. We got 8. Yeah, you can be great at business. That's probably why I was thinking Jay-Z, because he has a Capricorn moon, and I keep feeling that vibe right here. You guys can have an excellent nose for business. And yep, 8 strength. Okay, 8. Oh my gosh, wow. Yep, you're gonna turn all of that rubble into security, stability, longevity. It's like you're your own good fortune just because you refuse to believe anything other. You know that the universe has your back. The universe owes you some good luck, some good love, and you're ready to receive it and do the work, which is just the work for you. I think is just knowing that you deserve it. And people might get mad and be like, oh, well, you know, I didn't have the easiest life too, as they grew up in a perfect pampered house in the Midwest. No shade, but I'm in the Midwest. All right, I was born here, and let me just tell you, there's a lot of shade, right, from people who get mad, from people who actually went through real shit, and they'll feel like, you know, sometimes with these moves, right, I relate to that, and they don't understand. No, it was spiritual, it was mental energy. Like, it was so much work behind the scenes to even feel like you could get through the door, right, to even get your application looked at with the name that you have, right, that wasn't Sally Mae. All of this kind of stuff. They have no idea all the things that it took, how much courage and heart and freaking self-love when it didn't even feel like that. And that's like a freaking superpower for you. The fact that you keep keeping your heart. This reminds me of Tiffany Haddish too. Like, you just know, I'm keeping my joy. She's a Sagittarius. I'm keeping my joy. I'm keeping my self-love. I'm keeping my humor. And I'm going to be somebody because I say I am. And I'm going to be the somebody that I say I will be. So this was by Maya Angelou, this quote here that we read. Okay, I know why the caged bird sings. And look at the head, the way they shaded it. It looks like a heart on the third eye. Wow, you guys really know how to see through love. And that's beautiful. So that's a gift nobody can take right there. They ain't been able to take it yet. And that is a magnificent gift that you're bringing out the mud. Okay, and I love that. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you again on another one. All right, for those of you that chose number 3 with the red dice, number 2 on it, what are your gifts out the mud? Now, wow, first of all, we have to talk about this. First card right here, we're at the top left corner, is love. All right, and it has this key looking emblem, which also reminds me of Chiron, which we talked about on another option. Chiron is good to study in your chart for this reading because it's our wounded healer, where we can we've been wounded, but we can heal others like the best and offer the best medicine, and where we also learn to heal ourselves. We have a quote card from the African American Wisdom Oracle that we will read in a moment. We have the emerging one, which is the Fool, Papa Coin, King of Pentacles. We have 5 of Cups reversed, the Devil, 7 of Cups reversed, 2 of Wands, the Fox, a doorway card, which we'll get to, the 10 of Clubs reversed, and the Ace of Diamonds reversed. Okay, so what are your gifts coming out the mud? We have love right here. Love through grief, love through everything that's been difficult, love through, you know, just abuse and stress. Some of you had a long journey that you went through, addictions or healing, or you made it out of a home where that was very prominent. Some of you have, I'm seeing this, look at how beautiful that smile. Some of you have become amazing parents. Like, oh my God, I feel like your ancestors would be so proud of you. And even those who failed you might just be in awe of the parent that you've become, despite the examples that you had. Wow, that is so beautiful. We have strong Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo energy here. Yes, especially Taurus and Capricorn right here. We have some Gemini energy. We have some Aquarian energy, okay, the most prominently. And also some Scorpio and Aries. Okay, so wow, Yeah, and Muhammad Ali over here. This is Muhammad Ali. Oh, Sydney Portier, but from over here I was thinking it was Muhammad Ali, and that is he's sticking in my head. That's why his quote. And he is Capricorn, was a Capricorn with the Taurus moon, or Mars, if I remember correctly. But I just keep hearing float like butterfly, sting like a bee. But bees are so sweet, right? And they only sting when really necessary. And it's that kind of vibe, right? Live your life as a butterfly who transforms, and be this sweet bee who is so important to our world and helps us all have food, and only stings when very necessary. And that's a great sacrifice. And I see you guys as someone who sacrificed a lot. We even have this lamb here. All right, you might have sacrificed a lot in your youth. You might not have had, you might have been too precocious in your youth, or had to know things that you shouldn't have had to know, and carry a lot of burdens. And some of you were an only child, or some of you were just a child that you were just very aware. You knew things that maybe it caused you a lot of grief to know, just because you could tell the family secrets. And some of you, it's because you had some of that innocence taken from you. And I do see that some of you, like I said, have went through the path of learning and finding balance through addictions and abusive relationships and things of that nature. And now there's like this love that's breaking through. It says on the quote card, upon receiving an Oscar, Sydney Portier said, "It has been a long journey to this moment." And I feel like for you guys, it's always been, this trick that you have of finding that narrow escape. And that is ironically a gift, but it is learning when it's time to pull out of a certain situation or path, learning when to finally listen to that instinct and that, that whisper of guidance from your guides from the spirit world to move on to something better. Because Fox teaches us that. Fox is the threshold animal, and you can have dreams and things of Fox when it is time to get out of a situation and move on to something else. And so you guys have that ability to go from one place to another, to find loopholes from one situation to another situation. And you might have surprisingly decided a new path with the Two of Wands. See this foresight here, right? Found a new path and decided to make different moves, and people are just stunned that now you're stable and successful. Maybe you again are a good parent, have your own child, and you just exude this love and contentment, and people are like, how could you have done so? Like, how? And then it's so interesting because your doorway says, begin here. Do not fear what travel brings, my dear. The moment is yours. Begin now, here. Pass that on. All right. And then we have going to an Oscar. This has been a long journey. That's the power of the Fox. You have the ability to just navigate from point A to point B and take all these twists and turns, all of these heartbreaks, broken glass, car wrecks, train wrecks, all of these things, and end up where you need to be. And it's your journey, right? It's your fool's journey, literally. And growing into this amazing, stable, citizen, fellow citizen here that others even look up to, that people would be astonished to find out, what you have been through and who you have been and the people you've known, and what is that? I got friends in low places, right? People would be shocked. And I feel like also one of your gifts is the ability to love so many different people, to truly love them, not just like, oh, I love everybody if they act this way. And again, like that, I always say that love and light, and it's not to mock love or light, it's just because that's used in a very spiritual bypassing way, right? But I feel like you're real, like you're on the real stuff, like like Jesus really was. All right, you're out there with the exotic dancers, with sex workers, with whoever, and just loving, because you're like, people are people. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how is this even revolutionary? We all have our dark histories, we all have our vices, we all have different ways we need to be loved, we all have different coping mechanisms, and we all have our own path. Like, we all have our own path. Nobody wins the Oscar do it like on the same thing. It might seem so sometimes, but behind the scenes, everybody has a different path, right? So it's like even more so in life, okay? And so you guys have this amazing ability to give people second chances, to give yourself a second chance. And it doesn't mean you have to maintain a relationship with them romantically necessarily, but you just have this ability to allow people to realize their own potential. And that is a big gift, because a lot of times people try to control other people's potential, or like, I see your potential, so I get to have you, you have to date me kind of thing. And if you haven't fully grown into this, this is the gift that you're growing into, is to be able to help people get from point A to point B. Some of you might even be like life coaches, and just have a true, like, I'm just so drawn into the eyes. It's this smile, this compassion there, you know, just to really see somebody in a real way and say, yeah, I see where you are. Like, I feel like this is the person you would want to be your counselor if you had to go to rehab or something, that they see you, they got nothing but love for you. They're just sitting there cooking you good food, getting you your medicine, making sure you're taking your nature walks, giving you little words of wisdom. Just so genuine and present. You guys have the ability to be present in life. Maybe you were in escapism so long at some point that now you learn that it's so good to live in the moment. It's so good to be caught up in the now and connected to the universal things that are going on around you, right? Living in this great moment. And some of you, I do feel like you're like, wow, I don't know how I made it alive. You know, it's amazing that I made it to this point. Like, how am I here? And so there's this beautiful feeling of, yeah, even having kind of cheated death, or, you know, had gone to the other realm and come back. Some of you might have had comas, or, you know, I want to be real with you, even OD'd, or different things like that. And that's your personal story. You don't have to share. But it's like, now you know that. And like I said, people could be astonished, like your own children, when they would find out or something, or people in your community might have been like, wow, whoa, you went through what? Like, who would have known, right? Who would have known? Because you just grew into yourself so well. We have the 10 of it's the 10 of, wait, this is the 10 of spades. I think I said it was the 10 of clubs. No, this is the 10 of clubs. I'm sorry, y'all. Electric Relaxation by Q-Tip. Shorty, let me tell you about my only vice. It has to do with lots of loving, and it ain't nothing nice. All right. And that's reverse. So yeah, love is your religion. Love is your vice now. Love is, you know, the thing that you want to exude and to feel. You know, I think you've been to all the negative sides of things that call themselves love, things that call themselves commitment, and you're learning better and better. Some of you are still on that journey, but it's going to be your greatest gift, is to truly learn how to love with all the right amounts of space, all the right amounts of closeness, you know, the personal loves, the universal loves, and when those fall into what spaces. It's an amazing, it's a superpower. Oh yes. And we have Keep Your Head Up by Tupac. Some say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I say the darker the flesh, the deeper the roots. All right, I know you're fed up, but keep your head up. So if you guys haven't been giving people, these messages have been choking me up, y'all. Getting neath under all that thug loving. Okay, we have all of this, just, you know, this heart in here. And I feel like if you guys haven't been giving people this feedback, if you haven't started realizing how valuable your presence and your communication, and this is making me think of an Aries that I really love, and a friend of ours, of our family, that is an Aries Afro-Indigenous two-spirit person. All right, amazing person, and they just have such a powerful presence. I would just turn around sometimes and they'd just be looking at me, watching during a ceremony, just seeing me, you know, with such love and presence and compassion. And times that they would go and like support me with like a ceremony or love, just, you know, just seeing from a distance that something was going on for me and that I needed that protection and support. Just beautiful energy. And you guys have that and are growing into it. If you're not yet, that you're just going to be such a blessing, or you are already such a blessing. You are a blessing already. But the energy field of the growth of it, like, it's like you're going to be that elder that we want to be, that we want to have in our community, that we want to have around our young ones, if you're not already. Okay, it's so beautiful. So even if you're fed up, keep your head up. Okay, keep going. And we have the 6, love. love, this red, passionate, just love. So thank you so much for learning and taking that out of every situation to really know how to love in a real way, down ankle to ankle, foot to foot with people, eye to eye with people, the way that people need to be loved in all the right places, all the cracks in the concrete. All right. I appreciate it so much, and for passing that along, as it says. Wow, your reading is really touching my heart. So I appreciate y'all so much. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again in another one. Out of another one. All right, last but not least, those of you that chose number 4 with the white dice with the number 3 on it, what are your gifts coming out the mud? All right, we have this card, Safe Travel. We have a quote card, which we'll get to from the African American Wisdom deck. We have the Magician, the Star, Judgment, 6 of Swords reversed, 5 of Wands. We have the Knight of Wands, the Eagle, 9 of Spades reversed, 4 of Spades reversed, and we have 2 doorway cards that came out for y'all. All right, so let's see, what do we see here? Your gifts, y'all got the gift of gab, you have the gift of glamour, you have the gift of knowing your mind. Period. You decide your fate. You navigate where you go. You create and manifest. Period, 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 period. You guys have discovered your magic. Some of you are actual magical practitioners. You discovered that your free will is so powerful, and that you don't have to let nobody judge you, nobody treat you bad, nobody disrespect you, that you can heal yourself. Learning that you could heal yourself. Wow. Just an absolute superpower. All right. You guys, yeah, some of you might have even had like times where, like, this one is actually someone had gotten beat up, or there was a break-in, just times where you couldn't defend yourself and stand up for yourself, and now you're ready. Okay, you turned into a badass on them, and you're ready for whatever comes your way. You're somebody who can go back. Like, I feel like you're somebody that if somebody needed to leave an abusive situation, they could come and call you, and you would zoom in and fly in, and you would be handling that situation. You would be like, oh, so someone thinks we're fighting, and you could do whatever needs to be necessary. You can make good judgment calls in dangerous situations. You know when healing's possible. You know when someone's not going to listen to healing things and they need to have, some tough energy brought to them. You know how to navigate social circles like that. You know how to read people. And you know how to be aware of what's going on with your loved ones in your family circles, your social circles, in your community. Okay, you're somebody who has the ability to travel. We have big Sagittarius, Aquarius, Gemini, Scorpio, and Leo energy in this. Okay, and I would say Aries as well. You have maybe like that was an impossible thing. I know when growing up homeless, and I had this one year, it was my Jupiter return, and I ended up getting my own place. I've talked about this, and I'll talk about this year for all my life because it is so amazing, like going from a shelter to having my own bungalow in Santa Monica, not too far from the beach, some blocks, y'all, and then going full-time in school, doing all these arts that I love, and then I had to know that I could change my life for myself. I had to know that I could go and travel in other countries and experience things. I had to do it. And so I went to Peru by myself because none of my friends with Libra in their charts wanted to go, and they backed out because they were scary. And like, I had to know I could achieve those things, right? So you guys have that. You have this, this superpower, this gift of foresight, going the distance, making opportunities where there were no freaking opportunities, okay? Turning the most sour, most acidic situations into something that is sweet waters to you. So your card here, this is Ida Bell Wells Barnett, who was a journalist, civil rights activist, and a feminist, okay? And the quote says, virtue knows no color lines, and the chivalry, which depends upon complexion of skin and texture of hair, can command no honest respect. Okay, so your thing is that I think you've expanded your world. Some of you have challenged what was expected of you because of your race or demographic. Some of you, despite coming from families that were very racist, are like, no, I'm going to hardcore attack all of those prejudice, stereotypes within myself. I'm going to open myself and open myself. I'm going to heal this. I'm not going to be closed-minded. I'm going to take the power of my mind. I'm going to find the ways that are, because we have Sagittarius and Gemini, which is a good balance, because Gemini rules are close-knit, kind of more closed-minded. Think of it like a small town vibe. Sagittarius rules other cultures, and we have to find a way to embrace those without taking over, right? Kind of colonizing where we go, or having friends but doing tokenism, right? So I think a lot of you guys, you have learned through coming from maybe very hateful households. We're going to talk real here, okay? Some of you come from households, maybe on the outside you were doing well, but then you had bad family history, where your privilege came from the abusive dynamics, you know, of whether you're in the US and it came from slavery or whatever it was in your culture. You realize that your family got things by means that weren't so good, you know, somewhere down the line, or that they still hold very misogynistic, homophobic, you know, whatever it is, very hateful, very bigoted mentalities and political views and things in their heart. And so for a lot of you, you were saying, screw that, like, I don't care, like, that's not proper, that's not being a good person, that's not being virtuous. I'm gonna tear down, and to everyone else, I'm the black sheep, I'm this, you know, crazy person. But really, like, no, I'm badass, and I am going to heal this, and I'm going to keep, no matter how many times I get knocked down, I'm going to learn how to do it right. And go back to the drawing board again. So some of you are really really have your heart set on being true accomplices, not just allies, you know, who say you're allies when it comes to social justice, but really being out there on the grind. And that is a beautiful gift to take out of struggle, to take out of heartbreak, to take out of finding out about negative history, right? Yeah, definitely. That, you know, for those in the US, that could hit hard, okay? And even just for, you know, ourselves, for our own demographic, deciding to go out and protect people is something that you guys can really do well, especially when you bring in the traveling and just being able to get up and go and face all odds against you, because you're like, no, like, I have a beautiful spirit, I need to shine, I need to bring inspiration to others, I need to show how we can connect together. But you don't want to do that erasing people, you want to do that with true good spiritual judgment and giving people platforms and building a platform of your own. So some of you, you know, that's hard. It's hard to claim your voice and to build a space for yourself and to speak and to learn more and more how to have your own authentic voice and take away the mimicry of others that is within, right? That's programmed within. And so for some of you, that has been your greatest gift, is finding your own voice and realizing how to decolonize, or how to get rid of other people's opinions and things within you, and to become more and more true to yourself. Okay, let's look at some of your doorways here. We have Buddha on this one, having a power of your mind. Again, offerings, abundance lies in the heart that allows, share more than expected, and see love come around. So some of you found freedom in letting go. I'm feeling like a lot of people with this one, you might have had some privilege. It's reminding me of people who, like, they're like I have friends like this when I go on the social justice path, that are like, screw my family, like, we still own like property from plantations, and like, I don't care if they're rich, like, I'm not dealing with it, I'm not talking to them, like, we should be doing reparations, they need to, they're you know, they're bitter, they're all those kind of things. So they'll forsake all of that, and they'll go out and be the black sheep, and they'll be learning, on the path to learning more and more, to get rid of all of those kind of programmings. So some of you, it's talking about getting rid of abundance in order to be more loving. And some of you, it's just having that heart where you're never going to let anything get in the way of your freedom and the freedom of others and the justice that you seek for others. Even though the justice isn't here, there's the divine justice here with the star and the judgment. Like, your spirit wants to come correct. Like, fuck what the courts say, fuck what social media and social society, whatever, says right now. You want your spirit to be right. Okay, this is Scorpio Aquarius energy. And And that's beautiful, because you take yourself to another level and you're willing to go deeper and deeper and deeper into the work to make sure you're a truly good person and a good soul. And you know that you're not perfect. You know that sometimes, man, you've messed up. You've really messed up, and you were like, damn, I didn't even know that I had that part in me that had been hateful or, dangerous or whatever. But the thing is that you're continuing to work on it. And that's why it makes it so good that you're bringing that up out the mud, out the sludge, okay? And that you won't sell out. Basically, you're willing to give more or to do with less versus then turning other people in. And this really reminds me when we're out, joining together as a community, living on the land, protecting water sources here. Okay, a distant kiss and a prayer flag. I wish of all wishes that you were here. Through sunlight and rain, I need you near. So yeah, just this energy of community, bringing people together, not seeing other cultures and other people as less. That's why you're being blessed in travel here. It's just so important, a true coming together of people. We have the Nine of Spades reverse. It said, fight the power. What? Look, I didn't even see that yet, y'all. Our freedom of speech is freedom or death. We got to fight the powers that be, period. Okay, I think all of these kind of came out reverse for this deck, but I think it's because it's an internalized energy. Some of you are still growing into that. Okay, and we have Hey Ladies by the Beastie Boys. Educated? No. Stupid? Yep. And when I say stupid, I mean stupid fresh. So some of you, you're like, you didn't go and get a college education, but you're street smart. You know what matters. You know what matters when it comes to the spirit, when it comes to the people, right? The people just live in real life, okay? If we went back to getting rid of all of this dictatorship, whatever the ruling stuff is in your country, and just were people, right, with gifts and talents, living on Mother Earth, bartering, taking care of each other, like y'all are, you're very woke that way, right? You're very spiritually woke, and you have been. Your spirit's been through a lot. It's been through many incarnations, and you came here to remember to be truly divine, to make the sacrifices that are actually offerings. Like, it's almost like for you, your spirit's like, how, okay, so I can't shop at this I'm not going to support Gucci because they're making clothes that are blackface, but how is that a sacrifice? Of course I'm not going to do that. Like, that's a blessing for me not to support that, is that kind of vibe. So we definitely have some amazing, anarchists and social justice warriors and just protectors and lovers in this group. And I really like that. And I feel like your superpower too is not letting people tell you that you're unintelligent, that you don't know the answers, that you don't know what you're talking about, okay? Because you know the power of your mind. You know the power of your mind, period. Point blank. Free will, free person, pure communication, pure connection with your mind to the, to the spirit realm, to your higher self, to your intuition. And it just makes you be able to comprehend things that people don't comprehend, to see what really needs to be seen between the lines here in the world, and just, grow into more and more a beautiful person, okay? So these are some amazing things to take out the mud. I really appreciate y'all coming to this reading. I hope to see more and more support on these readings so we can keep having these beautiful, in-depth, real, raw reads and see all this beautiful medicine that we have to give out, and remember these beautiful qualities in ourselves. And here's some truths, that help us remember to keep pushing and keep growing, okay? So I thank y'all so much. I have so much love for you. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. Bye.